And Christopher was coming from a point of not speaking at 2.5 to a year later, where we are now, to not being able to shut up. It's been an amazing year for him. And I really did take Karen's book. I read it. I focused on the exercises. I would say probably the most important things for me getting him from not speaking to speaking all the time and asking questions was just active reading. We spent an enormous amount of time reading, and it wasn't just reading the words on the page. It was engaging him, asking questions, and really expanding on that, which it took his vocabulary from nothing to something that I think is remarkable in 1 year. And the other thing is just engaging in everyday life that she talks about, which is how do you teach your kids to expand their vocabulary? It's going out and talking. We spent a lot of time in the grocery store. He was very active with me in learning the foods, the colors of the foods, the shapes of the foods, how many apples I need, how many pieces of corn do I need, things like that. It's been a remarkable year for him. The teachers are absolutely amazed at how far he's gotten. I am very proud. And now, where I was worried, do I have a child who might be have learning disabilities, to a point where, okay, great, I'm not only am I on track, when looking at Karen's assessment of where he is, not only am I on track, but to get him into kindergarten, I've got a year, I can do that and get him to a level that I feel comfortable. Because one of the things that's I found very important is that the kindergarten in public school, you go in, they expect you to know nothing, but they expect you to be able to move from knowing nothing to be able to reading by the end of the school year. So it is very fast-paced, and my recommendation to any mom is that your kid should be well prepared, more advanced going into kindergarten, because the pace is so fast. This book will definitely help you get there.
My name is Julie, and I'm an adoptive mom of an older adopted child. Her name is Nicole. And right now she's about 5 years old, and we've been together for about a year and a half. So as you can imagine, we've been trying to get up the learning curve, and as a result of Karen's book, we've been able to take some nuggets from there, which has really helped us. Especially when it comes to reading and talking and the teachable moments. I can't recommend this book enough. I think, pediatricians should be giving it away to first-time parents. I think preschools should be distributing it to parents. Even regular schools, for that matter, should be giving this away to parents. And I don't think your child is really ever too old to benefit from this. Again, my daughter is 4 when we started putting some of the practices, some of the exercises into practice. And we continue to use them as she develops. She's now 5 going on 6.
My name is Jan Potter, and my daughter is Isabel, and she's 6 years old. And I recently had the pleasure of reading Karen's book. And what I learned from the book that I didn't know before was exactly what was on these kindergarten tests. I personally had no idea or no expectation that this was going on in the schools. And I read the book at a time just before my daughter was going in to be tested for kindergarten. So of course I panicked. But after reading the book, I actually had a greater appreciation for the types of questions that they were going to be asking her, and I really understood what these questions were driving at and what the school was hoping to learn about her ability. The title sort of is a misnomer, testing for kindergarten, if you're not going into, and actually she went to a private kindergarten, but it wasn't, you weren't being tested for admissions. You were being tested so that they could understand her level of learning and where she was at that point, so that they knew which classroom to place her in. So for me, it was helpful to understand why they were testing her when it was really an open enrollment, and she didn't need testing, but that's how they placed them in the classroom, and it dictated the environment, learning environment she was going to be placed in. So maybe the title is a little limiting in terms of just testing for kindergarten, but what I've been telling a lot of my friends is that it's really learning for life, and it makes you as a parent better able to engage with your child Because you always have those questions, like if I'm reading to her, should I be pointing out the words, or just are you doing a good job in helping your child learn, and how can you better do that? And so Karen's kind of taken all the thinking out of that, or the questioning out.
Testing for a kindergarten is such a great compendium of information because as a mom, we're all busy. I work from home, I'm a writer, I'm on the web a lot, I'm always surfing different websites. I don't really have time to read a lot of books, read tons of magazines, and it was so great to get my hands on one book that was so clear that Karen Quinn did so much research that went into this, and if I had had it, years ago when my son was younger, it would have made his years 1 to 5 that much more productive potentially. Now he's 7, so I'm still going to put some of it to work, but I think it's so helpful just to have a source, to have the book that you can look at that was written from the heart, but also has so much valuable information, and that's Testing for Kindergarten.